All right, so no injuries for you right now. The guys are coming in now, so good team win yesterday. I mentioned about Mike Mayock and John Gruden after the game that I think they're doing a great job with the Raiders, and they're building that thing back, and that's great for the National Football League. It's also great for the AFC West competition. So I'm proud of our guys and the job that they did, the coaches, coordinators, the game plan that they put together. I thought our guys executed it. We came out with plenty to work on and improve on, and we'll get busy on that tomorrow. There were some good individual things that took place yesterday. Some of our young guys stepped up. Juan had a nice pick six, which I thought was impressive, and it was good to get Thompson in the game, get him a couple carries, and I liked what he did, and so on. So, anyways, there are plenty of those things to go around. I appreciate the fans and the support that we had. That was a cold, windy day, and they easily could have stayed close to the fireplace, but they didn't. They came out and supported us, which my hat goes off to them for that. And then now we move on. So we're deep as coaches. We're deep into looking at and watching the New England tape and getting ourselves ready for that game and making sure that we get ourselves better as a football team in the meantime. So with that time, sure.
Andy, I know you guys like Darwin Thompson, but why has it taken so long and injuries to two other guys to get him some real playing time?
Yeah, just the experience. We've eased him in there just a bit, and we're trying to look for opportunities to get him in. And then just he's continued to improve on special teams, which ended up being a big thing, for that position. So he kind of found a nice little niche in there on the punt team. So it's been good that way.
He ran the ball 11 times on that 14-play drive. Was there just a thought process, just letting him get that work? I mean, it was a little tired working through things, or there's still some load management ideas with McCoy?
No, I had load management for Thompson, is what I had. I was going to give him the ball. So, I just wanted to the more he carries it and gets a feel for things, I think the better he'll be as we finish up the stretch here, the season. And it was an opportunity. So I thought it was important. He was in with the number one line for the most part, and it was against their defense, the starting defense. So I thought it was important that he got as many carries as possible. Now he got a little tired in there, but that's when we put Sherman. So.
Did you anticipate utilizing him a little bit more as the season? Has he shown enough to you now?
Well, we want to keep bringing him along. We'll see how that goes. Darrell's injury looked like he had a hamstring, and that didn't look very good. So there's probably a pretty good chance he doesn't play, and so that would be, Darwin. He's got to be ready to go. So
I like to watch how people react when someone scores, and he looks like some of the players love the other guys around there. They were really excited for him to get his chance. Yeah,
no, he doesn't say much. He's real quiet, works his tail off, and so the guys were excited for him. And he's one of those guys that he's not the biggest guy, but he works his tail off in the weight room, and he works his tail off at practice. He studies like crazy, and so doesn't say much. He just goes out and plays, and normally guys are attracted to that. They like him. He's got a good way about him.
Andy, what would you say is, as a rookie trying to understand the NFL offense is obviously a process. Where would you say you see him find the most comfort from the beginning of the season to now in terms of what they're saying?
I think he's getting better in protections, which is always the toughest thing. But he'll learn something from this game, carrying the ball, just on the different blocking schemes, when you kind of need to hit it and when you can take another step or two to set some things up. So there are things in there that experience helps. But I would tell you, from the beginning till now, it's the pass protection part of it where he's improved the most.
Andy, after the game, Derek Carr kind of went on and on about the play Tyrann made on the pick that he had, about how he fell off and did it. When you went back and watched the film, I guess, as quickly as he recognizes things, how do you, as a player, not give it away that you're going to come too quickly or kind of bait a guy in that sense? How do you get that skill set that Tyrann has?
Yeah, he's got a knack for it. He's had that since college. I mean, he just had that great feel for the game. When I first had a chance to sit down and talk with him, he reminded me a lot of Patrick that way. Just their sense of the game and feel for the game is special. So I think that's Tyrann. I think that's his strength as a player, and he works very hard at the game. But I think he also has this innate ability and instinct for the game.
Can he teach that to other guys in the secondary, or is that just something he has?
Yeah, he's been great. For one, he's been great. He's always talking, and Juan's a smart kid who also has good instincts, but just knowing the game, catching up. I think that Tyrann's been great for him in that way.
And it seemed like Patrick was moving around quite a bit yesterday, especially in the first half. How much of that was designed to move him out of the pocket versus just him having kind of...
Yeah, so the last couple of weeks we've been doing a little bit more of that. I think you've seen that. He's so good at it. He's so good at doing it naturally. And you got to feel those too. But I mean, there are things that we've asked him to do by moving the pocket a little bit, and it's only because that plays into his game. I mean, he's very good at that.
Coach, looking ahead to New England for a minute, beyond what's at stake on Sunday, you guys could win a division. Do you guys need to beat those guys after the way they beat you twice last year?
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, that's a loaded question, because we try to, beat everybody. I mean, that's what you try to do, sure. Right? So we're going to do our best to play our best, and so that's where it comes back when I say we've got New England coming up here. Yeah, we do. We've got to make sure we take care of ourselves and get ourselves better and focus on that. Still understand what they're presenting us, the game plan part of it, defensively, and then offensively, what are they going to present us there? And then we've got to keep working our fundamentals and techniques and do the things we need to do to improve as a team. So that's what we're going to focus on.
Coach, yesterday after the game, you touched on the challenge of the pass interference rule, and I'm thinking big picture here. Recently, Sean Payton suggested a 3-expert panel to help review it. How much do you agree with that suggestion, and how much would you like to see this rule revisited during the offseason to help make some improvements?
Yeah, I think it will be revisited. I mean, that's just the league does that. They're going to try to perfect everything, and so they painstakingly they'll go over everything. That's what the competition committee does. That's why it's there. So they'll hit. This will be a topic, I'm sure, since it's new. I mean, my experience with it is that's how the league does it. So, and we'll see. The league's always going to do. I've been around long enough to know they're always going to try to do what's best for the league. And not that this is right or wrong, but if they feel, and they don't shy away from it, they look at things and then they go, all right, this is good. Let's try to make it even better. This isn't very good. Well, let's try to make it better. Well, we can't, boom, get rid of it. I mean, they're not afraid to do that. So whatever way this, I can't tell you which way this goes. I mean, I don't know that. But I know the league will look at it. I mean, I think we do. I think the league does a great job with that.
How do you agree with Peyton's suggestion, though, to have a 3-person panel review this to help New York?
Yeah, I'm not sure there aren't 3 people involved if you include the officials. So I'd have to talk to Sean to see exactly where he's coming from with that. I don't know exactly the direction he was talking, so I'm not going to answer that. I could just tell you, though, that however they look at it, they're going to, they'll evaluate it.
How do you personally, how do you guys determine what your threshold is for when you'll throw a flag? Because clearly that was pass interference, but How do you know?
Yeah, I was asked that last night. I just, it's a bit subjective, but I have guys in the box that are helping me with it. And then our replay, you try to look at the replay yourself. And listen, there have been a couple that have been overturned, so there's an opportunity there potentially. So you make a subjective decision. I mean, that's what it ends up being on the evidence that you think is available there.
Couple more guys. Kelce's closing in on another 1,000-yard season, and
Yeah, let me just add one thing. So it has to be at real time too when you're seeing it. So sometimes they're not going to slow it down to he grabbed a little bit there. So it's real time that they're looking at. Go ahead.
Kelce's coming in and closing on another 1,000-yard season, and you've always had tight ends be a big part of the offense. But are there things like about Travis that's like you have pat plays? Are there things you can do with Travis that maybe you couldn't do with other tight ends?
Yeah, well, he's a special player, so we can move him all over the place. He's got a good feel for it, and the crazy part is he can continue to get better, which is a need to, and he wants to get better. That's maybe more important than having the ability to get better. So he wants to get better at all areas of his game, which makes it enjoyable to coach the guy. So. And you've seen him grow over the years, as a player and as a teammate and all those things. So, he's got great ability. He knows how to play the game. He's another one of those guys that has got a good feel for it.
In the 2 straight games with having the offensive line destabilized, I know you mentioned before that there was some concern about maybe what the offense can do if there's so much movement and fluidity at the offensive line. Watching that unit, just what do you like so far, and where do you think there are ways that can improve? And as the season goes on, are there more things you feel like you can open up on offense because you have the 5 guys that you sort of assumed you would have all season?
Yeah, well, you like to have that experience up there. I thought we started off slow there, and I thought we got better as it went on, as far as the game went. And I'm hard on that group. I watch that group closely, Andy's done a nice job piecing that whole thing together, and then he's got his guys back there. But I expect a lot out of them, and I thought as the game went on that they got better and played more like I think they're capable of playing. So they're going to keep building that, and we got room to continue to get better there.
Last one.
Coach, one of the things that you guys had talked about a lot last week was improving on the penalties. You improved greatly this last week. I'm assuming if you get called for 12 penalties, you probably don't feel like you deserve all of those. If you get none penalties, do you feel like you did that well? Or did you just kind of get a kind whistle too? Did you see what you wanted to see out of your defense?
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't get any penalties, yeah. The fact that people are mentioning that probably means that doesn't happen very often in this league, right? So, I just want us to continue to focus on our fundamentals and techniques. I want us to work it in practice, do those things, and then go play. And normally you'll come out on the better end of penalties if you do those things.
And lastly, I saw your episode of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives was on. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience, shooting that show and eating some food?
It's a great restaurant, number one. Guy does a nice job. He's got a good thing going there, So it's amazing that he's as skinny as he is, eating all the food that he eats. That's not the only show he did that day, and he's able to keep his weight down. So, but Pigway's a good place to eat.
Thanks.
Yep.